This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1565. 6 Tips for Extroverted Parents Who Are Raising Introverted Teens by Veronique Hoebeke with IntrovertDear.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Greg Audino, your host and narrator, and this is ORD. We have reached our parenting leg of the week, where we share content specifically geared towards parenting on Thursdays and Fridays. And for today's article, we're going to be turning our sights towards IntrovertDear.com and their post about how extroverted parents can successfully raise introverted teens. So let's jump right in today and optimize your life. 6 Tips for Extroverted Parents Who Are Raising Introverted Teens by Veronique Hoebeke with IntrovertDear.com. Parenting teenagers is tough, but parenting a teenager who seems to have a completely different personality than you can be even tougher. As the child of 2 introverts, my desire to not be a social butterfly was well understood. I can't say the same for my introverted friends whose outgoing parents forced social activity after social activity on them. It may be confusing or frustrating to parent an introvert when you aren't one yourself, but don't worry, this introvert is here to help. I've put together 6 tips to help you better understand and connect with your introverted teenager. Number 1. Accept that your teen will be different from you. There's some debate about whether our personality traits are influenced by nature or nurture, but either way, you shouldn't expect your children to have the same disposition as you, even if they do have 50% of your DNA. You may have been the prom queen or football star type with parties to go to each weekend, but that doesn't necessarily mean that kind of social life would be of any interest to your teenage kid. The most powerful thing you can do is to accept your teenager for who they are. Don't make them feel like there's something wrong with them if they're quieter than most. Nothing will wreck your relationship with your children more than insisting that they need to change a fundamental part of who they are. Number 2, bond with them in their territory. Introverts are usually content to pursue their interests alone. While extroverted teens might want to gather a bunch of friends to go to a movie or skateboard in the park, introverts may be perfectly happy doing these activities alone. This also means that they may not be too keen on doing activities together as a family if you have other children or relatives living at home. Because of this, it may seem like your teenager is shutting you out. Teens do tend to rebel against their parents, but that might not be why your introverted teenager isn't sharing their thoughts or interests with you or the rest of the family. It's possible that including anyone else in their interests and goals just slipped their mind. Since you shouldn't expect to be outright invited to share in your teenage kid's interests, you must engage with them. Ask questions about what books they've read lately, or if there's a new movie they want to see. If you do this in a non-nosy way, chances are your introverted teenager will start to open up over time. Suggest that just the 2 of you do something that's in line with your teen's interests. Your introverted teen will likely appreciate the one-on-one time. Number 3, push their comfort zone gently. When it comes to expanding your introverted teen's comfort zone, you must strike a balance between pushing them too little and pushing them too hard. Introverted teens can easily fall into a pattern of spending all their free time alone. School and being a teenager in general is hard. This is why they might retreat into their rooms for a lengthy period of time to recharge their mental batteries. Allowing them to have alone time is good, but too much of it can contribute to feelings of depression or low self-esteem. However, chances are, if you have a teen boy who is used to spending most of his free time alone or with a few friends, and you force him to go to a huge birthday party or a football game where he'll be surrounded by thousands of screaming people, he probably won't have a good time. In fact, forcing him to socialize on your terms, or by doing things only you or other family members want to do, is a surefire way to make him want to retreat more and more into his room. Much like point 2, find out the ways your introverted teen likes to socialize and encourage them to invite their friends along. If they struggle with meeting people, find a club, group, or event that is centered around one of their interests. This way, your introverted teen will feel like they have something in common with other people around them. Number 4, don't assume they're being rude. In my life, there have been many times that I've come across as rude or disrespectful just because I'm introverted. If you think your introverted teens might have said something disrespectful, ask them what they meant before instantly punishing them. Introverts with thinking-type personalities tend to respond in a matter-of-fact way. This might cause adults to think that they're smart talking, when in reality, they're just trying to relay the facts to you. If you take a moment to pause before jumping to conclusions, you might see that your teen wasn't trying to be snarky. Also, remaining silent when spoken to may not necessarily be a sign of disrespect. Your introverted teen might be struggling to vocalize the right thought before speaking. Giving them time to speak will save you from any rash judgments or misunderstanding, which could damage your relationship with them. Number 5, bolster their social skills. Speaking to new people and connecting with them may be something that comes easily to you, but may be a challenge for your introverted teenager. So don't push them into social situations without giving them the skills to handle them. That's right, being social is a skill, much like math, auto repair, or painting. Some people are born gifted in those areas, and others have to apply themselves in order to learn these skills. Chances are, if you're extroverted, you are naturally better at talking to and relating to people than introverts. Don't try to socialize for your introverted teenager, but instead, help them by imparting your social wisdom to them. For example, if you see that they struggle to start conversations, give them advice on how to better speak to new people. Maybe you can tell them that complimenting what someone is wearing or asking them about their family has always worked for you. Number 6, learn what's healthy for an introvert and what's not. Parents of all teens, extroverted or introverted, should be vigilant about their children's mental health. The symptoms of many mental health disorders begin to appear in late adolescence and young adulthood, with depression and anxiety being the most common. There is a line between your teenager being introverted and having a mental health issue. Introverted teenagers will still be able to get through the day at school, pursue their interests, and have friends. Their quiet nature shouldn't stop them from functioning on a daily basis. But if you notice that your teenager struggles to get by without being extremely sad or happy, that could be a sign of depression. Also, if your introverted teenager is highly uncomfortable socializing with others or avoids it altogether, that could be a sign of social anxiety. Be on the lookout for any changes in their mental health, and don't be afraid to seek help. Parenting any teenager can be hard, but I hope you've learned how to navigate the complexities of the introverted teen a little better. If you appreciate their differences and work with them, there's no reason you can't have a happy family of both introverts and extroverts. You just listened to the post titled 6 Tips for Extroverted Parents Who Are Raising Introverted Kids by Veronique Hoebeke with IntrovertDear.com. And thanks a lot to Veronique for these really well thought out tips today. Each one was very considerate and very respectful of the differences between extroverted parents and their introverted children. And while that's super important, it's also crucial for parents in this situation to keep a watchful eye on the stories they're telling themselves about their own parenting. We might go back to Veronique's first bullet about accepting the differences between you and your child. That can be a lot easier said than done, even if we really want to. Extroverted parents might feel that they failed themselves or that they failed their children for raising children who aren't as socially adept as they are. And this could bring about a lot of self-shaming or shaming towards their children. And obviously that's not what we want. So I do think that first bullet was very important for integrating the health of both the parent and the child, and helping the parent to realize that the connection they build with their child is a better goal to aim for in parenting than how exactly their child behaves or expresses themselves. Food for thought as we wrap things up today, parents and non-parents. I hope it's not only the parents that listen on Thursdays and Fridays. Enjoy the rest of your day, and be sure to come on back tomorrow for another parenting post. Looking forward to talking with you then, where your optimal life awaits.